All right, well, The Last of Us is back on HBO just a week or so after both The Pit and White Lotus Season 3 ended. HBO is just coming back once again with another season of a TV show, proving why they are one of the best streaming services out there. Last of Us Season 1 I thought was very, very good, and I have played both games. It took me until about 2.5, 3 years ago to actually play them, and watching season 1 of the show, it was a very solid adaptation while expanding on certain things. And today I'm going to talk about the first episode of season 2, and I'm going to talk about spoilers within the episode, but I'm not going to dive into spoilers within the game because I do know that a lot of people are experiencing this story for the first time within this HBO series. So, I'm going to get into spoilers for the episode, but fear not, if you haven't played the game, I'm not going to give away what happens as the story progresses. But let's go ahead and dive in here. The series opens not long after the first season ends, and we are immediately introduced to Caitlin Dever's Abby. And if you've played the game, then you understand the changes that were made for this character and her build. And I never had an issue with this, and I think it's ridiculous that people do. I mean, it's an adaptation. It is not a one-to-one recreation, and Caitlin Dever is such a talented actress that as soon as they announced she would be playing Abby, I was so excited because I know she has the chops to bring everything that this character is going to require, and we see that here particularly in this scene, in this first scene, where obviously, given the dialogue, you can tell that she is going to be an antagonist. She is trying to hunt down and kill Pedro Pascal's Joel for the actions that he committed in Season 1. The people he killed were not just side characters. These were very important people to Abby and her crew here, and we're seeing the repercussions of his actions within minutes of this show returning, and that is one thing that I really liked about this episode is both in the beginning moment here and at the very end, we bookend with the walls closing in on Jackson and action starting to show the consequences of somebody's actions starting to close in on them here. And we're already seeing that with Joel and Ellie's feud. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But opening with Abby and her crew standing around some graves, and Abby talking about her plan. She's already done her research on Joel. She knows the guy she is looking for. And everybody is kind of in unison here about the revenge that she wants. Especially one character who I won't get into too much detail about, but everybody is kind of on the same page here about wanting revenge on Joel. And then ending the episode with her crew closing in on Jackson, and then watching the fungus in the pipe kind of and also feel like it's closing them in. I thought that was a really, really cool shot. There were a lot of great scenes and shots in here, and the cinematography was great. I'm getting sidetracked, but especially the sequence where Ellie falls through the ceiling in this shopping mall. The sequence with the stalker infected in there was frightening. I thought it was really, really well done. The suspense in that scene was excellent. But again, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's jump back to the beginning. And after we meet Abby and her crew, we then jump 5 years ahead. And, well, we're introduced to the rift that is going on between Joel and Ellie. They both clearly see differently on some things. Joel is trying to work through this in therapy with his therapist, played by Catherine O'Hara, who also, she's having a moment in the television space right now with this and The Studio, two things that she is great in, and she's working through her own troubles, and there's a wrench thrown into there because she also resents Joel for something he did. She mentions it is the 1 year, her first birthday without her husband, who we find out Joel killed. So there are questions here within this series, especially the changes that were made from the game. Who was this guy? Why did he have to kill him? We're going to find all of these things out in flashbacks, I'm sure, which is probably part of the reason that this game was split up into 2 separate seasons, is because we're going to fill in a lot of that 5-year time gap that we really don't see anything from so far in the series. And so I'm very interested to hopefully also kind of watch this friendship between Ellie and Dina evolve a little bit. I kind of want to see the origins of that. I'm sure we'll have an episode probably tackling that, because when we meet Dina and she interacts with Ellie for the first time, it is very clear they are really, really good friends, which leads to something later in the episode that was ripped straight out of the game and done so well. But the feud between Joel and Ellie really is at the center of this episode. They're both, Joel more specifically, is trying to reconnect with Ellie, and she really doesn't seem to care. A moment with Tommy that she has, she gives him the business, and because he's trying to convey these feelings that Joel has. I mean, he still wants to protect her like she is his daughter. And she's just not, I mean, she's a rebellious teenager at this point. We're 5 years after the first series. She's not the same person she was. And so they're both evolving as people and learning to evolve with each other. And that does cause a lot of drama within this episode, and it is kind of infuriating at times the way Ellie treats Joel. But again, it comes back to the decision that he made in the first season, in the first game. He honestly tells her to her face that they stopped looking for a cure, which is why she is still alive. But she can see right through him, and you know that she knows. This isn't explained in the episode, but there is just that unspoken truth. I mean, she knows. And so we're watching both of them live their lives in Jackson, and I thought that the dynamic between them was handled not too over the top. We're probably going to see more of it in the coming episodes, but that really did take center shape here in this episode. Now, later on in the episode, after Tommy tries to get Ellie to not go on patrol, he ends up letting her go. She goes with Dina and some other residents of Jackson. And, well, Ellie and Dina get into trouble in an abandoned shopping center. And this is some of the cinematography that I was talking about in the beginning of the episode, is the whole sequence after Ellie falls through the ceiling, which... One thing I thought of while I was watching the episode is the rest of their team are just right outside. You would think that they would have heard Ellie fall through a ceiling and scream. You would think that they would go in there and try and help, but they don't. It's just Ellie trapped because there's no way out that she can find, and she encounters an infected that is stalking her around the supermarket. It was really intense. It was eerie. I really, really liked that moment. And going back just a couple of minutes when her and Dina first enter the shopping center, I really like that they incorporated something that you do very, very often in the game, where you can either pick up a glass bottle or a brick and throw it to try and distract the infected, to try and get a kill or escape. I really liked they incorporated that into that episode. As soon as I saw the bottle, I knew what was going to happen, and I just thought that was a really fun addition, because it is something that is so integral to the more intense moments within the game. The whole middle sequence with them on patrol, it had the scares, it had the impressive practical effects that we've come to expect in this series, especially with the infected. And then, well, the episode closes with one of the things that made the second game so special, I guess, for a lot of people. I mean, this is a lot of people speak very highly of this sequence, and that is the dance, the town dance that takes place at the very end of this episode. Ellie and Dina share their first kiss in this moment, and it's just a really sweet moment for their relationship. They're a very easy couple to get on board with because they're just so just two likable individuals, and it feels honest and genuine, the feelings they have for each other. And so I think they handled that really nicely. And of course, we see more of the drama with Ellie and Joel when he tries to interfere with a more negative townsperson in this whole situation. And it was all done so well. And I figured that we would see that dance in this first episode. And it really was a great reintroduction to the characters, the world. I thought it was great. The new additions. So far, you haven't seen a whole lot of a couple of them, but I'm already a big fan of Isabella Merced's take on Dina. That was another casting that when she was announced, I knew she would be a great pick, and we're already seeing that here in episode 1. I cannot wait to see where this show goes, how it differs from the game, how they expand on certain things from the game. I think this is going to be a really great season. I did have a couple of tiny little nitpicks throughout the episode, but that was really akin to why did nobody else come into the building to help Ellie? It was nothing negative against the episode. I thought it was a great episode, a great reintroduction. I'm really, like I said, looking forward to seeing where this season goes. I am a little curious as to where the split in season 2 and 3 are going to occur in relation to sequences in the game. But other than that, I'm on board for this new season. I'm looking forward to it. Had everything that made the first season special. Bring it on. I cannot wait to talk about this series week to week with you here on this channel. So, what did you think of the first episode of season 2 of The Last of Us? Have you seen it yet? Did you enjoy it? What are some thoughts that you have? Please, 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 if you do leave a comment, make sure that you are not spoiling the game for anybody that might find their way to the comment section, because this is a really, really great story, and it's going to lend itself really well to television. And I think if people are going in not knowing the story, it is so crucial that it stays that way. So if I do see comments pop up on this video for any reason, or on any video where we talk about this show, I will make sure that there are no spoilers for the game itself. That way everybody watching can just enjoy it, watch it week to week. Let me know, again, what you thought of the first episode of Season 2. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, if you like what I do here, you can hit the subscribe button and see more film content from me. And, well, as always, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.